Ladies and gentlemen, a new snapshot for Minecraft Java Edition 1.17, the Caves and Cliffs Update Part 1 has been released. Here is 21w18a with a new behavior for screaming goats, new ore distribution tweaks for the Caves and Cliffs World Generation Preview Data Pack, and lots of bug fixes. My name is slicedlime, I'm here to guide you through all the changes, and let's dive into it, starting with mobs. There's a new distinction for screaming goats versus normal goats. Screaming goats will now use their ram attack more often than other goats will. A number of goat-related bug fixes are in this version as well. Goats can no longer do their high jumps when on honey blocks, and goat babies will now follow their parents around. Goats will now run like proper animals. A goat on a lead would have the lead attached to a point that was slightly too high up. And the head animation of a goat in a boat no longer resembles a satanic ritual. The logical eye position of goats could also sometimes be wrong. This included when it was airborne, and in some cases that could cause the goat to suffocate. And also the texturing of the goat's ears is now properly mirrored. A couple of fixes for piglins as well. Piglins are now attracted to blocks of raw gold, and they will protect blocks of raw gold, so if you mine a block of raw gold, then any nearby piglins will now anger. And finally, killing a mob will now once again show the death smoke particles. Let's move on to gameplay. Infested blocks are no longer instantly destroyed, instead they have half the destroy time of their non-infested counterparts. If by half you mean twice. Yes. The last use of an anvil will no longer cause you to drop the item that you are using in the anvil. If you are holding an item in your mouse cursor when closing the creative inventory, then the item will no longer disappear. You can no longer extinguish a candle in adventure mode without the proper flags set to be able to extinguish candles. Small drip leaves would sometimes shrink when bone mealed into a one tall big drip leaf. When you remove the water from the base of a small drip leaf, then the plant would still stand around until it got a block update. That is fixed in this version. And spore blossoms can no longer be placed underwater. A fix for world generation in this version. Old cave and ravine generations got cut off unnaturally at chunk borders when you approached water. That has been fixed in this version. Speaking of world changes, there are also a whole number of changes to the world if you are using the Caves and Cliffs Preview Data Pack. That comes in a new version for this snapshot, so make sure you download the new one to try it out. It's linked in the original Minecraft.net post, but also, of course, in the video description. There are a number of bug fixes in this one, but also a whole boatload of ore generation tweaks. Let's start with those. The amount of copper ore veins spawning in has been reduced with 20% to compensate for large ore veins being added. The smallest form of iron ore veins previously only found under level -32 has now been extended up to level 64. It's also had its count increased from 3 to 10, so more than 3 times as many such iron ore veins will spawn in now. The normal sized iron ore blobs have been slightly reduced by 1/6. That is to compensate for the added large ore veins and the increased range of the smaller blobs. And the deep slate blobs above height 0 have been removed. Cave carvers will now generate below height 0 in ocean biomes. There was a bug before where they didn't. The minimum size of noodle caves and carvers have been increased to make it slightly easier to traverse it and less likely for them to break up into fragments. Noodle caves will also no longer generate above height 30, so they're less likely to intersect with the surface. Let's move on to user interface fixes. A couple of torches that could be found in the panorama background of the main menu have been removed. Deep slate ore variants now have the same colors on maps as deep slate does. The order in the creative inventory of deep slate tile stairs and deep slate brick stairs have been fixed, and the light block has new textures. Sound fixes in this version. There's now a burning sound for items when they burn in a lava cauldron. And the ramming sound of baby goats is now pitched up like other baby sounds. And a whole slew of the goat sounds didn't have any subtitles. That is fixed in this version. In addition to this, a whole slew of stability and performance fixes, including some strips of chunks in the world generating completely dark or completely lit up, and a problem where your log would be spammed with received invalid biome ID -1, which would cause a major lag, and this was also a problem when playing with the Caves and Cliffs preview datapack. In addition to this, a whole slew of crash fixes and problems where save data could get corrupted. Even with these fixes, of course, this is still a snapshot, so do remember that this is a testing version that could crash or even corrupt your world. And keep in mind that any world you open in this version can never be safely downgraded to a previous version again. So if you want to play this version, do so on a separate test world, or make sure to maintain backups of your world. If you want to play this version but you don't know how to, then click on the link in the iCard of the video right now, or in the video description, to go to a tutorial video for how to get and play a Minecraft snapshot. And that's it for the gameplay changes in this version. If you're also interested in technical changes for things like entity data, resource packs, or custom world settings, then please check out a video that I'll have up on the channel right after this one, containing the technical news in this snapshot. If that video is already done by the time that you are watching this, then there will be an iCard on the video right here to take you right there. And that's all I had for you this time. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of this video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please help me out in return. Leave a like, share it with a friend, or drop a comment. Any interaction on this video helps out the channel greatly. Also a big thank you to Fabian, Neuneinser, and Jock Cool, who helped out in the creation of this video. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest news for Minecraft Java Edition, then please subscribe to this channel. I make update videos for both gameplay and tech changes for every new snapshot, pre-release, release candidate, and full release of the game. And don't forget to hit the bell icon and select all to get notified whenever those videos are done. My name is slicedlime, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.